All right, welcome everyone to this webinar. Welcome everyone to this webinar. This is the second webinar for the Global Growth Insiders. All right, welcome everyone. I want to especially appreciate everyone who celebrated and wished me yesterday, 28th of December. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. I celebrate you. All right. As we know our custom, yeah, we just come in and take on deliberate topics that help you build and maximize, grow your productivity, and knowing strategic activities and steps that you should take. All right. Strategic activities that you should take in order to grow your productivity, in order to grow your result, in order to build maximal impact in the things that you do. Okay, today we'll be sharing on the topic how to identify and reach the right mentors in 2021. How to identify and reach the right mentors in 2021. If you're a person of faith, you would have heard about the story of David. David was a king, the second king that ruled in Israel after Saul. Now, I will be taking a lot of the clue from what I will be sharing today from the life of David, all right, building on the mentorship strategy of David. And let me tell you beforehand that a lot of you right now, after this webinar, the people you call your mentors, you would have to leave them, you would have to drop them. because the right foundation for choosing a mentor, for following a mentor, was not actually followed. All right. And sorry to all those who may even already, maybe you are mentoring people and you feel that you are fulfilling a worthy cause. It is good, it's fine. But there is a timing to knowing when you can mentor people. There is a level of what you should get before you go ahead to start choosing to mentor people. All right. David was a young man from the tribe of Judah. He was born by a man called Jesse, who had a lot of sons. He had about 7 sons, and David was the last born. David was a young man who was usually always sent on the field to go lead sheep, to go feed them, to ensure they are well catered for. And while David was on the field where the sheep are, David was doing a lot of things. He was building his skill, he was sharpening his skill, he was singing songs. There he learned how to use musical instruments. At times, the lion came to those seasons and they wanted to try to attack the sheep. David will stand in front of those lions, destroy them, rip them off. And then a bear came also. He went there, he would deal with the bear and ensure that the sheep were safe and ensure that the sheep were safe. So at the end of the day, it happened that at one time, Jesse's father told David, David, oh, your brother are on the war front. At that season, the entire nation of Israel, the entire nation of Israel was faced by an enemy, all right, a Philistine who was called Goliath, a giant, all right. His qualities and all of that were scary. People who saw him ran away from him. Even the king could not confront him. King Saul at that time was a man of war, and he yet could not confront Goliath. All right. And David was sent by the father Jesse, oh, go and feed your brothers, because his elder brothers, some of them at that time, all right, at least the two, Eliab and the second one, they were actually men of war. They were going to battle, all right, they were warriors, and they were already on the field at that time. And David was sent to go feed them with something because they've been on the battlefield for a long time. They've not been able to conquer Goliath. And because Goliath has not been conquered, the Philistines became like an arch enemy. They became really fierce enemy that Israel could not confront. So for that reason, David went on there, and on David getting there, he found out about this enemy, found out about Goliath. David was a very little young boy at that time, and he told the king that what will be done to who will defeat this enemy. All right. What will be done to who will defeat this enemy? And he was told, oh, it would be given part of the kingdom, he would marry the king's daughter, and a lot of those benefits. And David picked up all of those challenges, even though King Saul looked at him as a very little boy and said, you young man, what do you mean by that? You confront this that those who had experience could not actually confront. And he shared the testimony of how while he was keeping the sheep, he confronted the lion came, he confronted it, defeated it. The bear came, he confronted and defeated it. And eventually he said, this Philistine will be like one of them. Now, there was a later part in scripture where David, when David was appeared like a threat to Saul. Saul knew he was going to be the next king, and Saul tried all means not to allow David to become the king. And a lot of things happened. Saul started pursuing David. He tried to kill him. He tried to attack him. He made lots of attempts. He could not. And in a particular season, a couple of people came to David. Why? They were distressed. They were in trouble. All right. Some of them were like barbarians. Some of them were like illiterate. Some of them were like people who had no direction. And then they came to David that he would be their leader, and David began to mentor them. David began to mentor them. Just follow the story. David began to mentor them. And as David began to mentor them, he was perplexed, he faced issues, and he trained them to the point that in the book of, I think, Second Samuel now, the Bible called them the mighty men of David, the mighty men of David, because some of them now they were able to then confront Goliath, giants. All right, like David killed a giant called Goliath. Some of them were able to slaughter even the brothers of Goliath. Some of them were able to kill giants. Why? Because they were trained in war, they were trained in battle, they learned strategies of defeating David by somebody who has done it before. By somebody who has done it before. Listen to me, all right? By somebody who has done it before. By David, who has slaughtered a giant before. All right. I see a lot of people who pursue mentors because of the result they see. Like, oh, this person is great. This person is influential. This person has massive result. This person is doing a lot of things. This person, oh, is visible everywhere. A lot of people are following him. Now, what you should ask yourself is number one, the result this person has, the story this person has, is it something I want to, is it something I can relate to? Is it something you can relate to? Is it something that is relatable? Is it something that can challenge you enough to walk the right path? All right. There are a lot of people who have results, but they are not right for you as mentors. All right. You can get their books, you can get them as instructors, you can learn from them, but they necessarily don't need to be your mentors. Mentorship has to do with a relationship. Listen, those men came to David, they stayed with him, there was a relationship happening between them. There was interaction happening part time. There was a means of getting feedback on the battles they went for, and they were being mentored. All right. Now, you should understand that result, all right, a result you see necessarily does not guarantee that person must be your mentor. What should guarantee a mentor in your life is the purpose you want to achieve, all right, and the kind of impact you want to make and the kind of results you want to have in the long run. All right. For example, maybe you are getting to the point that you want to become a top public speaker. Your mentor should be somebody who have gone from a point of being a mediocre, average public speaker to someone who has grown result to maximally impact people through public speaking, and the person has been able to master that game. All right. So you must understand that the mentors you want to pick will begin from what? Their stories, their purposes, and your own purpose also, because a relationship needs to be built. All right. David had the story of being a shepherd, someone who was not known, someone who was in the bush, to somebody who grew experience and result, and he became a national hero. And not until when David became a national hero, he did not say he would mentor people. He did not choose to mentor people. A lot of people have not grown result to the level of mentoring people, and yet you are moving ahead, opening up WhatsApp platform where you are saying, oh, you're mentoring people, whereby you are saying, oh, you are trying to do this, opening in communities. It takes a level of result to mentor people. David grew, all right, to becoming a national hero. Son was celebrated before he could be sought after to mentor people. No wonder he was successful. No wonder he was able to raise people that slaughtered giants. All right. It takes a giant slaughterer, all right, to raise other giant slaughterers. It takes a person who has been victorious over an issue, who have been victorious at a level, who have been victorious over a matter, an area of life, to be able to raise others who can do the same. All right. So you must watch who you seek and you look forward to mentor you. Let's take a clue from Jesus. Did you know that Jesus did not seek for disciples? He did not be on the lookout for disciples. He did not gather people who will pour his heart onto. He did not gather the people he would mentor until he was announced from the Father, when there was that voice that spoke from above that say, this is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased. He had an authority. He already had something that spoke about him globally, all right, in the open space, that people could affirm that he was worth following. All right. What was Jesus doing before that time? He was asking questions from the leaders, from those who were ahead, from the priests in the temple. He was learning from them and mastering his craft. All right. So you seek a mentor who has been able to master his craft. All right. So don't pick a mentor because, oh, I feel is the one available. I feel is the one I no, it takes a relationship, it takes a level of result, it takes something you can relate to. All right. Now, where do you start? Where do you start? All right. The journey of mentorship starts by number one, the ability to discover yourself. All right. You do not need a mentor to discover yourself. You need to discover yourself, and then you seek a mentor that can guide you on the destination you are going to. I see a lot of people who don't know themselves and they move on seeking for mentors. The truth is this: until you have known yourself, if you pick a mentor before knowing yourself, you will end up wanting to be your mentor and you will not leave yourself. I see a lot of people, oh, I need this person to mentor me. If you have not found yourself and then you move ahead to seek a mentor, you would end up wanting to be like your mentor instead of being your real self. So the number one thing to do is to commit to finding your true self, to discovering yourself, discovering your purpose in life. If you have not watched my video I did on how to find your purpose with Clarity Faster, you can go to my YouTube channel and check it, and make sure you also subscribe. All right, that video will help you a lot on knowing how to find your purpose clearly without having to hustle here and there. Direct instruction, things you can relate to, and you can take the action right now. You should find your purpose. Number two, you should find a vision. You should have a vision for your life. You should have something you want to become. You should have where you want to go. The reason why a lot of mentors don't want to waste their time on you is because they are not even sure of your destination. So, how do you expect somebody to take you to a place you are not even sure of? It's like somebody who went on who went on Uber, and then Uber was asking, "Oh, let's find your destination," and then they are trying to say, "Where's your destination?" You say, "Help me find one." It's very funny. Or somebody will flag the taxi and the taxi is asking you, "Oh, where do you want to go to?" You say, "I don't even know, just take me anywhere." It's terrible. That's the same thing a lot of people are doing to their mentors or the people you choose to mentor you. Because when the mentor begin to ask you, where are you going, what do you want to become, what are the things you want me to do for you, some of you are not even sure. So you must take time to knowing your purpose, having a vision for your life, and setting personal values for yourself, setting personal values for yourself. You'll find out that David did not choose to mentor people until he knew the path he was going, until he knew the journey was going. Do you know David was already anointed by Saul? He was already anointed with the oil that he was going to be the next king before he went on that course to fight Goliath. All right. A lot of people have not been anointed. They don't know themselves. They don't know their journey. They don't know their path, and they want the mentors to do it for them. All right. So you don't get the right mentors when you don't have the right destination. You don't get the right mentors when you are not clear about yourself. You don't get the right mentors when you don't even have a vision for where you are going. All right. So, number one, self discovery, very critical. Whether you want to choose to mentor people or you want to be mentored, self discovery is very, very critical. All right. Number two thing I will be sharing on is self development. All right. You need to develop yourself. You need to commit to strategic development, not just randomly selected knowledge that makes you have a feeling that, oh, I'm involved in personal development, I'm doing all of this. No, you need to develop yourself. All right. Mentors want to commit to someone who is going somewhere. And when you are not committed to going somewhere, where you don't prove that you are paying the sacrifice to grow, mentors would not commit themselves to you. Mentors will not pour out their heart to somebody who does not have the desire to grow. The men who sought David in the cave of Adullam, they were men who were willing to grow. They discovered that they were ignorant. They discovered that they were little. They discovered that they needed something more. They discovered that they needed a push. They discovered that they needed to grow. They discovered that, oh, we needed to learn something from this man David. And what did they do? They picked up themselves, they paid the price, left their city, and stayed with David in the cave of Adullam. In the cave of Adullam. So it is not where you learn it. All right, that is the issue. But are you willing? Are you desirous to develop yourself and grow and to be developed? Your mentors will not develop you. You have the role, you have the responsibility to your own personal development. And when mentors or aspiring mentors see that you are contributing to your development, then they are willing to be part of it. I told somebody recently that a lot of times mentors don't want to waste their time on somebody who does not look like he's going to achieve a result, on somebody who does not look like he's going to be great, on somebody who is not set on the path of greatness. But when they see that with the things you are doing, developing yourself consciously, you are on the verge of winning and victory, or you are on the verge, there's a likely chance you will make it, then they want to contribute to it. All right. Mentors want to limit their failure chances but maximize their success stories. All right. They want to limit their failure chances and maximize their success stories. All right. Whether you want to be mentored or you want to turn out to be a mentor, remember what David did? He developed himself with the sheep. He developed himself with the sheep. He developed himself in the forest. He developed himself in the bush. All right. He did not mentor people until there was a development. So when you are looking for a mentor, look for somebody who is consciously committed to personal development, somebody who is consciously developing himself, somebody who is consciously giving so much value, sacrificing, going to conferences, somebody who has a mentor. All right. Somebody who has somebody he learns from, somebody who has a system of building, growing capacity, because it takes you to give only what you have. All right. You can only give what you have. When you don't have it, you can't give it. If your mentor is not growing, he would only give you at the level of what he has gotten. So it must be somebody committed to personal development, somebody who has a story of development, somebody who has a story of, oh, I did this clear action step, not somebody who will teach you principle. You should seek a mentor who can teach you practice and who can show you the practical. All right. A lot of people, they teach what they don't practice. All right. And they practice what they don't teach. So you should look for a mentor who practices what he teaches and he teaches what he practices, and someone committed to personal development. All right. The third thing here is submission. All right. The principle of submission. Don't follow a mentor that is not submitting to something, submitting to a system that you can reckon with, submitting to a course that you can identify with, submitting to something that you can relate with. All right. If you don't have a mentor who is submissive to somebody you respect, somebody who is up there, is not worth following, is not worth pursuing. All right. Submission is very, very critical. There's a stage when you want to grow into mentorship, you must submit to others, you must submit to something, you must submit to others who are ahead. Jesus submitted to the Father. All right. David submitted to people. At the time he submitted to Saul, at the time he lived with Saul, at the time he served in the kingdom. All right. So you can see, before he chose to mentor others, before others could follow him, he submitted, he learned leadership, he learned the system of excellence, he learned how to live in the palace, he learned how to follow the course of the kingdom, he learned how to rule. All right. So when you are looking for a mentor, study their system of submission. Who do they learn from? Who do they look out for? All right. Who do they submit to? Who do they learn their course for? So don't go out there and just say, I need a mentor. Number one, personal discovery. Discover yourself. Number two, what do? You develop yourself. All right. And number three, look for somebody who is submissive, somebody who is submitting to something. No wonder David was so great. No wonder David was able to avoid the mistakes that Saul made. No wonder David was able to groom people, grow people that did what? That made massive impact in their lives. All right. If you can't hear me, can I see you drop a comment in the comment section and say value before I continue, so I can be sure that you're getting value. So I can be sure you're getting value. Can I see you? Just drop in the comment section Say value, 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 value. Amazing. Value, 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 value. Great, 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 great. All right, all right, all right. Now, the number four thing you should do, number four thing you should do is that understand the story behind the glory. Every mentor you choose to pursue, seek for the story. All right. A lot of us get carried away by the glamour. We get carried away by, oh, see, this person is being announced. Oh, this person is holding this conference. Oh, this person has connection with all of these people. Look for their stories. Dig deep. I'm telling you the principles that you need to grow, that you need to move forward, that you need to maximize your result is where? Is in the story. Is in the story. Don't get carried away. How did this person start? What was the challenge this person has gone through? What's the issue this person has faced before? How did this person handle this particular area? Then you can know this is the right mentor for you. Okay. Now, lastly, what I will be wrapping up right now is that seek a mentor who is willing to pour out himself or willing to pour out herself. Not a mentor will just say, oh, don't worry, just go there or just do this. You need a mentor who can pour out himself, a mentor who can pour out herself, a mentor who is willing to pour their hearts to you. Don't just seek audio mentors. There are a lot of you right now, you're saying, oh, that person is my mentor. Is something coming down to you? You remember the story of Elijah and Elisha? Elijah poured out. He poured out himself until he poured out a double portion of his spirit upon Elisha. And listen, but careful. Sometimes don't seek a mentor because they are known, because they have name. Your mentor could be somebody in your immediate environment producing a kind of result and is willing to pour out their heart to you. Yes, you can learn from them. Remember Samuel? Samuel was a kingmaker, but he was never a king. All right? He was a kingmaker, but he was never a king. There are a lot of people whose graces right now are to be what? Kingmakers. And if you don't know them and you feel because they don't have name, because they are not known, you will miss what you should carry that should have made a difference in your life and in your destiny. Thank you so much, Praise. I can see that value. Amazing. All right. So seek those people who can pour out themselves to you. Now, lastly, how to wrap up. A lot of people make the mistake. All right. A lot of people make the mistake of not knowing how to approach mentors. Oh, Kate, thank you, value, praise. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. A lot of people don't know how to approach mentors. They approach mentors the wrong way. And for that reason, when they go there and they say, mentor me, people just look at their comment section like, mentor me, Abby. Just look. Look away. All right. They just look. Mentor me. Look away. Mentor me. Look away. Please, I need you to mentor me. Look away. No. There's a way, there's a right way to approach mentors. There's a right way to approach mentors. All right. I did a video on it. You can check my YouTube channel. You'll see where I made the statement on how to approach, all right, the right things to say in approaching a mentor. All right. You can look at that video, but there have been an upgrade on some of the things that have been shared. That's still valuable, even right now. And the reason sometimes why when you seek for mentorship, you send that text message or you walk up to them, please, I need you to mentor me, all of that, is because you ask the right questions or you make the wrong statements. It's because you ask the wrong questions, sorry, or you make the wrong statements. Sometimes people go to approach mentors beggarly, like you approach them like you are hungry, you approach them that you are coming to get their resources. No, there's a way to approach mentors. One of the things to do is look out for the platforms where they control and look out for consistent platforms where they appear. Look out for the platforms where they control, where maybe they have a Facebook community, they have a WhatsApp community, they have a Telegram community, they have a mentorship program. The way they look at platforms where they control and platforms where they are. All right, platforms where they are, where they show up consistently, whether it's on Instagram, on Twitter, but they're consistently. Now, when you study the platform, if it is a Facebook community, make sure you are there. Now, whenever they share video, wherever they're doing a webinar, wherever maybe they release a video on YouTube like this, or maybe they share something on Instagram, be the first to be in the comment section to say something. Be the first, maybe not the first, but be amidst the first set of people who comment on the things they do. Don't just look away. All right, when you look away, when you ask for mentorship, you also look away. All right, so don't just look away. When they make comments on platforms, make sure you comment there. All right, by commenting there, they read your comments, and you know what you're doing, your name sticks to their mind. All right, to start buying land in their mind. That's number one way. Being platforms where they control and where they are. Number two number two be involved in a course that they push out. Be involved in a course that they push out. All right, are they pushing out an initiative? Are they doing a project? Maybe they want to they are running a program, and then in running that program they want to push out publicity. They are looking for people to volunteer. All right, they are looking for people to be part of it. I've talked about this in a webinar where I talked about the difference of volunteering and usefulness. You can volunteer for a cause and not be useful. All right, can volunteer for a cause and not be useful. So usefulness, all right, usefulness in the sense that you are so valuable, so impactful. All right, when you join their team of volunteers, all right, be involved in their worthy cause. I remembered how I got connected to Shoyinka. Shoyinka was doing a master class on public speaking. I shared. Some people came into the program. He allowed me come into the public speaking master class, and I learned a lot about public speaking. All right, you can see a lot improvement about my public speaking. Part of it was as a result of that course. I got in there by being useful. I got in there by being useful. I got connected to Abraham Owosheni by being what? Useful. So be useful. That's the way. And by the time you are useful, you balance in their mind, and then they are willing to pour their hearts onto you. All right. So number one, be in platforms where they are and show up consistently, comment in things they do. Number two, volunteer for their cause. Number three, be willing to invest in their paid resources. Be willing to invest in their paid resources. Are they pushing out a webinar, but willing to be involved? All right. Are they pushing out a book? Get a copy. All right. Try the means that you can. Just get any money legit. All right. Buy their books. All right. Now, what you're trying to do is by doing all of this, you are initiating a conversation starter. All right. By doing all of this, you are initiating a conversation starter. All right. Now, one of those days where you have done that consistently, maybe for 30 days, 60 days, go into their DMs. All right. Go into their DMs. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Coca. Thank you so much, Mr. Coca, for the valuable post you shared on this. I was able to learn this. I look forward to a closer relationship with you that I may be able to achieve my dream of doing this. All right, sir, will you be willing to mentor me? All right, so you start that way. So you initiate a conversation starter that they can relate with, and from that means you then connect. All right, easily you can get a yes. But people will just rush. Hey, sir, I want you to mentor me. Abba. Abba. No. All right. So you initiate the conversation starter by doing a couple of those things, and then they can relate to the things that you do. All right. So they can relate to each of those things. Amazing, right? I hope someone is learning. Learn, oh, that's the way to have sense. There are a lot of people now, they are not listening to this now. They don't know the principles. They just keep rushing and say, oh, those big people, they are proud, they are arrogant, they are not doing this. Oh, my. All right. So great people are not arrogant. You only have the wrong approach. All right. Great people are not arrogant. You are only implementing the wrong approach. So those are things that you should do. And when they are available in an event, go there. When they organize an event, go for their events. Go to the places where they are speaking. I remember that how I connected to the convener of the Ambassador Summit. all right, that holds in Unilag. Prince Joshua Yeni, all right, is a global phenomenon. He's an entrepreneur. He has had the ability to be the regional, all right, regional coordinator leader for Yali Africa, and a lot of global impact he has made. He has got international award. And I went to that event. I left Abeokuta. I transported myself to Lagos to be in that event. All right. During that event, all right, I networked with him. I said, "Oh, sir, I came from Abeokuta and all of that." From there, I kept on following up, following up. He gave me his contact, followed up, invited me to his house, and I tell you, the counsel he has given me, oh my! I don't think you'll find it in his book. He wrote a book, from I think from night to light. All right, he wrote a book. I got access to that book. He sent a copy of that book to me, and he gave me a massive counsel that I'm telling you is part of what has made me get some level of result I've gotten today. All right, so you should go for the events. At the events, try as much as possible to reach them. Oh, sir, my name is this. I'm so delighted by this program. I'm so blessed by what you do. Sir, is there a way I could learn more from you? All right, don't say, hey, come and mentor me. Come and mentor me. No, sir, is there a way I can learn more from you in order to get the principle that's worked for you? All right. Some people will even go there and say, sir, I want to be better than you. Hey, hey, imagine if David went to meet Saul and said, Saul, I want to become king that will be better than you. Would they have been allowed to meet Goliath? Sense, wisdom, wisdom, wit. Very important. All right. So you keep getting a no because there's no wisdom to the approach. There's no wisdom to the approach. All right. So those are just key things. So go 2021. While others are struggling to reach mentor, you already know the principles of knowing how to identify, how to reach mentors, and then how to maintain relationships with them. Don't just have mentors and then it's only when you need them you walk up to them. Be valuable and be useful. Like I would always say, we will be wise. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. Till we see you again. Peace. Bye bye. See you in 2021.